Older men often seem to have a unique edge when it comes to attracting the women they desire. You might think it's because they have more wealth or maturity, and while those factors play a role, there's a lot more to it. Older men with their years of experience have picked up some effective dating strategies that give them an edge. If you're in your 20s and feel like the dating game is tough, don't worry, these tips can help you gain an advantage. Older men understand that dating isn't just about making a great first impression, it's about forming a genuine connection over time. They tend to be more relaxed and self-assured, which naturally draws women in. This isn't about playing games or using manipulative tactics. It's about developing a presence that is appealing, respectful. If you're interested in learning these techniques and creating deeper relationships, you're in the right place. Before we dive in, I'd appreciate your support. If you find this video helpful, please click the like button. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming content. Your feedback is crucial to us. So if you enjoy this topic, rate it with a 1. If you think there's room for improvement, leave a comment with a 0. Let's get started and explore the 7 strategies older men use to create lasting attraction. By the end of this video, you'll learn how to apply the wisdom and confidence that older men exude in the dating scene or role, while embracing a stoic approach that prizes authenticity and respect. Ready? Let's begin. Younger men's obvious lack of patience is one of the most noticeable problems they have, and it frequently gets in the way of their romantic endeavors. Their inability to establish deep connections with women is ultimately impacted by this impatience, which can take many forms. Younger men frequently respond hastily to situations without pausing to think through the consequences, because they are impulsive and have a need for immediacy. Women may find this impetuous and immature behavior off-putting, because it tends to come across as immature. On the other hand, due to their maturity and life experience, older men typically approach relationships with a higher level of patience and composure, in contrast to younger men whose focus is more easily influenced by transient impulses or desires. Older men are typically more steady and stable, attributes that women find appealing. They stand out as reliable and trustworthy companions because of their ability to remain composed and objective. Under pressure, older men also have different priorities than younger men, which helps explain why they can tolerate relationships better. Older men are less likely to concentrate only on romantic endeavors because they have other responsibilities such as financial obligations and career goals on their minds. They can therefore handle possible conflicts or disagreements better and avoid impulsive reactions. Older men have the maturity to handle minor disagreements calmly and rationally, preventing them from turning into needless confrontations and promoting healthier and longer-lasting relationships. The tendency of older men to value long-term compatibility over instant gratification is another characteristic that sets them apart in the dating world, in contrast to younger men who might be more interested in passing flings or surface-level relationships. Older men are more likely to devote their time and effort to creating meaningful and long-lasting relationships. Their propensity for long-term commitment shows that they are patient and willing to work through relationship ups and downs, despite obstacles or disappointments. Younger and older men's differing levels of patience reflect larger differences in how they approach relationships and life in general because of their maturity and life experiences. Older men tend to be more patient and composed than younger men, who may suffer from impulsivity and a lack of foresight. People of all ages can try to imitate the qualities exhibited by older men by realizing the value of patience in creating meaningful connections, which will ultimately result in healthier and more satisfying relationships. Now that we've examined the idea of patience and the methodical dating approach, let's compare the viewpoints of younger and older men. A basic difference between the two is how they view time and handle romantic relationships. Many younger men have an overwhelming sense of urgency and a relentless drive to succeed in their romantic endeavors right away. Because of this impetuous mindset, they frequently put undue pressure on themselves and potential partners, seeing every date as a chance to satisfy an urgent need or desire. Nevertheless, as time goes on and life experiences mount up, older men's perspective on dating drastically change. They learn that developing an authentic relationship with a woman is a long-term marathon rather than an ephemeral sprint. This shift in perspective allows them to accept the love journey with endurance and patience, realizing that genuine intimacy and affection take time to grow and develop. With this newfound understanding of how relationships develop gradually, older men can start dating with greater purpose and awareness. Instead of giving in to the temptation of quick satisfaction, they put more effort into developing enduring compatibility and sincere emotional tie. Older men who prioritize the long-term goals of their romantic relationships are better equipped to handle the challenges of dating with poise and assurance, free from the demands of quick success. In addition, elderly men have an exceptional capacity to establish a relaxed and comfortable environment when interacting with women by putting the long-term strategy ahead of the immediate payoff. They give their partners the opportunity to be authentic without worrying about criticism or expectations. Sincere connections can develop naturally over time because of the profound emotional intimacy that is fostered by this acceptance and understanding. Older men are better able to date with patience, insight, and foresight. Because of their experience, they make their partners' lives more meaningful and fulfilling, while also increasing their own satisfaction by valuing the enduring nature of romance and cultivating genuine connections. Finally, older men's methodical and compassionate approach to dating distinguishes them as shrewd and perceptive partners in matters of the heart. Let's delve deeper into the complex dynamics of ego and authenticity in relationships, comparing the behaviors of young and old men. One of the most common pitfalls that young men face in their romantic relationships is the negative impact of unchecked egotistical tendencies. Can take many forms, from boastful displays of knowledge to exaggerated self-importance, eventually alienating potential partners and sabotaging budding relationships. This misguided sense of superiority is often motivated by a desire to impress or assert dominance, causing men to prioritize their image over genuine emotional connection. In contrast, years of lived experience have provided older men with valuable insights into the futility of ego-driven behaviors. They recognize that authenticity and sincerity are far more appealing than empty displays of bravado or arrogance. After establishing their place in society, older men have developed a sense of self-assurance that goes beyond the need for external validation. They understand that pretending to be someone they aren't only undermines their authenticity and reduces their appeal to potential partners. This deep understanding of the value of authenticity allows older men to navigate relationships with confidence and integrity, rather than relying on superficial tactics or fabricated personas. They embrace their true selves and allow their actions and words to reflect genuine intentions. By embracing their authenticity, older men foster trust and openness in their interactions with women, resulting in deeper connections based on mutual respect and understanding. Furthermore, older men have a level of self-awareness that allows them to identify and correct any inconsistencies between their actions and personalities. They recognize that genuine connection cannot be established through pretense or deception, so they prioritize alignment between their inner selves and their outward behavior. Older men who embrace their true selves exude a sense of authenticity and sincerity that women find irresistible, attracting them with their genuine charm and integrity, the ability to transcend the ego and embrace authenticity is a sign of maturity and wisdom in relationships. Older men demonstrate a profound understanding of what is truly important in matters of the heart. by prioritizing sincerity over superficiality and authenticity over ego-driven posturing. This genuine authenticity distinguishes them as desirable and compelling partners, capable of forming deep and meaningful connections that stand the test of time. In terms of romance, realistic ideas are the cornerstone of mature and meaningful interactions that distinguish older men as perceptive and pragmatic individuals. Men eventually gain a keener sense of discernment as they mature and gain life experience, which helps them distinguish between realistic goals and idle fantasies. This knowledge, gathered over many years of negotiating life's challenges, encourages a more sensible and grounded approach to day-to-day interactions and dialogues. Being able to recognize reasonable ideas not only shows maturity of perspective but also gives prospective partners an impression of their dependability and reliability. Older men show women that they can provide security and stability in a relationship by exhibiting a grasp of what is and is not possible. Women gain confidence from this emphasis on practicality and foresight because it reassures them that their partner is capable of making long-term plans and laying a strong foundation for their future together. It's also critical to acknowledge that women frequently place a higher value on stability than on possessions or flimsy achievements. Although having money is important, it is not as important as having emotional stability and relational security, because they are aware of this basic reality. Older men place a higher value on providing stability in their relationships with women to foster a relationship based on mutual respect, trust, and support. Older men focus on creating a stable and secure environment. Furthermore, older men understand the importance of cultivating dual goals in a relationship wherein both partners prioritize their partnership's stability and well-being. In addition to their success, older men realize that true fulfillment comes from striking a harmonious balance between individual achievement and shared goals, as opposed to seeing success as a zero-sum game. Older men prioritize the overall stability and happiness of their relationship while also empowering their partners to pursue their goals. By establishing a culture of cooperation and mutual support, the ability to value stability and practical concepts distinguishes older men from attractive and discriminating romantic partners. Women find older men appealing because they project dependability, reliability, and foresight through their pragmatic approach to daily interactions and conversations. Older men establish a loving and supportive environment in which both partners can thrive and grow together by placing a high priority on stability and encouraging dual ambitions within a relationship. Let's take a closer look at the value of staying busy and how it affects relationships, especially as it relates to older men who have mastered the art of juggling priorities in conversations concerning relationships. The idea of staying busy all day is frequently overlooked, but its significance cannot be emphasized enough. Keeping a full schedule is a calculated tactic that older men can use to protect their emotional health and establish healthy boundaries with women. Older men inoculate themselves against the dangers of excessive rumination and overanalysis, which can afflict idle minds by filling their days with worthwhile endeavors. Having a busy schedule allows older men to develop independence and self-sufficiency, which are desirable traits for prospective partners. Busy men reduce the risks of dependency and insecurity in their lives by maintaining a sense of autonomy and agency in their lives, as opposed to obsessing over the whereabouts and actions of their romantic interests. Their relationships are more stable, and they are more desirable because of their confidence and independence. Furthermore, the hectic nature of daily life acts as a natural restraint on the propensity to become fixated on romantic interests. Senior men can avoid being consumed by their partner thoughts and instead focus their energy and attention on their personal development. By pursuing meaningful activities and goals, their romantic interests respect and admire them for. This healthy distance which protects their emotional health and shows them how important it is to keep each other's independence in a partnership. There's a lot of truth to the saying that those who are infatuated with women all the time don't have enough problems in life. Older men know that having a varied range of interests and responsibilities outside of romantic relationships is essential to living a balanced and meaningful life. Older men create a vibrant life outside of relationships by devoting their time and energy to activities that give them happiness, fulfillment, and a sense of purpose. Essentially, the importance of staying busy during the day is found in its profound effects on relationships as well as its practical advantages. Busyness protects older men from emotional dependency and insecurity and helps them develop a sense of independence and self-reliance that makes them desirable to potential partners. Older men lay the groundwork for healthy and balanced relationships based on mutual respect, admiration, and shared values by putting their personal development and fulfillment first. Let's take a closer look at the idea of leadership and how important it is in relationships, especially as it relates to older men who have developed their leadership abilities over time. Their natural ability to take charge is one of the qualities that makes older men stand out in the dating world. This leadership skill is not just a result of getting older, rather, it is a reflection of the expectations and cultural norms that older men have had to deal with throughout their lives. Older men have been socialized from an early age to take on leadership roles and responsibilities in their communities, families, and workplaces. Despite the constantly changing social environment, the basic principles of leadership are largely unchanged. Generally speaking, women still respect and value the traits of leadership, such as initiative, accountability, and decisiveness. Women have always preferred strong leadership because they want stability and security in their relationships, and they look for partners who can help them navigate the ups and downs of life. Effective leadership is not just about meeting social expectations for older men. It's also about having a tactical advantage. When it comes to romantic relationships, older men establish trust and confidence in their partners by projecting an image of dependability and authority, which paves the way for meaningful and lasting relationships. The security and comfort that come from being with someone they can rely on both practically and emotionally attract women. Furthermore, developing a sophisticated grasp of how to lead with empathy, compassion, and sensitivity is necessary to master the art of leadership in relationships. It goes beyond simply asserting one's authority to be an effective leader. In both conversation and daily life, one must actively listen to and comprehend the needs and viewpoints of their partner, in addition to voicing their own opinions and desires. By finding a fine balance, older men can cultivate reciprocity and mutual respect in their relationships, making both partners feel important and supported. When older men accept their leadership roles in their relationships, they frequently discover that women are compelled to approach them for friendship and advice. This dynamic fosters a symbiotic partnership in which both parties support the development and fulfillment of each other. In the end, older men can develop strong, long-lasting relationships with their partners where love and admiration grow naturally by learning the art of leadership. Older men make for compelling partners because they can lead with wisdom, empathy, and consistency, which can build relationships that endure over time. In particular, from the perspective of older men who recognize the value of preserving autonomy and self-respect. Let's explore further the power dynamics of setting boundaries and the revolutionary effect of saying no in relationships. Noise, one of the most powerful but undervalued words in the world. Relationships, even though it has a bad reputation, the word no has a lot of power and importance. It is a boundary-setting tool that is vital for encouraging positive and harmonious relationships. The capacity to say no with confidence becomes essential for older men who frequently have to balance a lot of obligations and responsibilities in order to protect their time, energy, And emotional health saying no is a brave declaration of one's independence and dignity in a culture that values accommodation and compliance above all else. Saying no is a sign of not caving in to outside pressure or expectations, especially for older men who are used to being in charge and leading in different spheres of their lives. Rather, it conveys a resolve to prioritize and meet their own needs, even at the expense of upsetting or bothering other people. Furthermore, saying no can be a powerful catalyst for changing interpersonal dynamics. When a woman receives a no for a request or desire, it can be astonishing and fascinating for her to encounter resistance in this way. They reflect more deeply on their goals and motivations as a result of this upheaval of the status quo, which forces them to reconsider their presumptions and expectations. To be sure, a woman's mind can be filled with a flood of ideas and feelings just by saying the word no. She may start to wonder why this man refuses to comply and what sets him apart from other people who easily comply with her demands. Her interest in and attraction to the man who dares to set boundaries and assert himself are frequently heightened by this curiosity and intrigue. Not only that, but saying no conveys an assertiveness and confidence that appeals to women naturally. It sends a strong, independent message to prospective partners, letting them know that the man is not easily influenced by other people or peer pressure. This confident gesture makes it very evident that the man values his own time and energy and is prepared to go against the grain in order to preserve it. Older men establish mutual respect and understanding in relationships by setting boundaries and saying no when it's necessary. It enables them to create relationships in which each partner is free to communicate their wants and needs without worrying about going too far or violating the other's autonomy. Maybe taking a balanced approach to relationships, both partners can flourish in an atmosphere that promotes stability and justice. The capacity to set limits and confidently say no is ultimately essential to long-lasting and fruitful partnerships. It helps older men stay true to themselves and supports the vitality and longevity of their romantic relationships. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the complexities of relationships, focusing on the unique insights that older men bring to that. From patience and authenticity to leadership and boundary setting, we've explored the many qualities that contribute to a successful and meaningful connection. If you enjoyed this deep dive and found value in these insights, consider subscribing to stay updated on the latest topics in relationships, personal growth, and communication. By subscribing, you'll gain access to exclusive content, tips, and discussions designed to enhance your understanding of human dynamics and help you navigate the evolving landscape of relationships.